You can get $500,000 in funding for your new LLC without showing proof of income. You can have no credit. You can even have bad credit. It doesn't matter. You can get funded by people you know and trust. Plus, you don't need to use personal savings or collateral, so you don't have to put a work vehicle on the line just to get funded for a second one to grow your business. You can avoid all those drawbacks by borrowing money from friends and family, but that can be pretty taboo for some people. Plus, having those conversations that mix money and relationships can be tricky to navigate with so many emotions involved, so it's important to clearly communicate the terms of the agreement and treat it with the same respect you treat a loan from a big bank. This new service called Pigeon helps you create and manage those loans with your loved ones and the people you trust. And those loans max out at $500,000. In minutes, 2 users, a lender, and a borrower can log on to the Pigeon platform, create a loan, agree on terms, create legal documents, and start an agreement. So from what I've gathered, there's really 10 major ways that Pigeon simplifies the process of loaning money to friends, family, and business partners. For one, you can start using the service completely for free. So you can create a smaller and shorter term loan for free on Pigeon. They also help you process what they call premium loans. And so those loans have several different qualities. For one, if the loan is over $10,000, it's going to be a premium loan. If the term exceeds 18 months, if it uses any sort of contract protection, if you want to set up a custom repayment schedule, if you like to delay the payments, so the start date of those payments, you can delay them by months. And if you want to do that, it's going to be a premium loan. And if you have your own custom contract that maybe you or your lawyer drew up, then you can upload that and you can use that as part of the loan process. What I like about this is that the limitations are really high. So you can actually set up individual loans with one person at a time for up to $500,000. That's the limit. And what Pigeon helps you do is increase your likelihood of getting repaid back. And there's 4 ways that they help you get paid back. They clearly document the loan. If you choose, they make you sign a contract. So that's going to make it more official in everybody's eyes. And there's a transparent system to track and monitor the repayments over time. They even have automatic reminders and auto pay that you can set up, so you never forget to make the payment, and every party involved knows when a payment is supposed to go out, and they have the terms right there in front of them. Pigeon helps you through all the paperwork that's required to set up one of these loans. So that means all that annoying legal language that's required and the structure of the loan. They also give you the option of making direct payments through the platform. They give the borrower an extra incentive to make payments because they're going to give you Pigeon points, which are worth 0.08 cents per point. So they're going to allow you to purchase Amazon gift cards with those Pigeon points after you make those on-time payments. One massive thing you got to know is that they don't do any sort of credit checks. So they're not going to check your financial history or payment history when processing these loans. They let you completely customize the loan to your liking and terms. So whether it's an interest rate or a repayment schedule, they're going to let you determine what you want to do. They even let the borrower request and negotiate a longer loan term if they don't have the money to pay at that moment, or even do loan forgiveness. So if the borrower doesn't have the money and they maybe won't ever have the money, then they'll allow the borrower to communicate that to the lender, and then they can forgive the loan. So let's take a look at how to set up a loan through Pigeon. This is how it works. All you're going to do is on the home interface, you can see loans, payments, deposits. You can refer people, get rewards. So you can get the Amazon gift cards with the rewards points that you earn when making payments. But if you go back home, you have the option to create a new loan or add an existing loan. So let's just say we want to create a new loan. Now you have the option to lend money or borrow money. So let's say that we want to borrow money and set up this loan so that we can get some funding for, let's say, our new trucking company. And let's say this trucking company has been in business for less than a year and you need another truck. Maybe you already have one truck on the road, but you need another truck to start expanding and hire a driver. From what I've seen, the average truck can go up to $150,000. So let's say that to buy that new truck, you'll need to put at least 10 to 30% down. So if you got to put 10% down on a $150,000 loan, that's going to be $15,000. So let's say the principal is $15,000. And we're going to do a 2-year loan, so 24 months. And let's say you're going to borrow it at a really nice rate of 2%. It's going to be simple interest, just to keep it simple for us. Reason for the loan, let's just say it's going to be business. Let's say the first of the month is going to be the payment due date. For description, just to keep it super general, I'll just write working capital. You can even add a contract to it And then that's going to make that a premium loan. And by the way, the premium loans cost $3 per month when billed annually and $6 per month when billed monthly. Let's go next. So here it's allowing you to send your loan to the other party that you're trying to borrow from. This is going to go out to your friend or family member or business partner that you're trying to work with and you want them to lend you some money for this business opportunity or expanding your business in this case. And so you would just put in their email address, and let's say you're going to borrow from me. So cal@calbartoncashback.com. You send the invite, and that's it. That's all you have to do to send a loan to borrow money from somebody that you already know and love. And if they already have the Pigeon mobile app, they'll just get a notification that you sent the loan. So what I think Pigeon really does here is it helps you with the hardest part of borrowing money from friends and family, and that's making it more legitimate and making things very clear what the loan terms are and what the repayment schedule is, so that it gives all parties involved the utmost confidence that this loan is going to go well and that all payments are going to be made. So I know this is kind of taboo for a lot of people. You don't want to mix family and business, but for many people, this is actually a good thing. They actually engage in this sort of activity all the time. And I just want to talk about the pros of borrowing money from friends and family versus going with traditional lenders like banks and fintechs. First, you get flexibility in the repayment terms. I mean, you can choose it yourself. Obviously, you can just choose your loan terms and you can negotiate with the person that you already know, and you can customize it to both of your liking. So if you can't afford anything above 2 or 5% of an interest rate, then they might be able to work with you. And since they know you, they might trust you to go to a lower rate and not make as much money off of you. Traditional lenders are going to be super rigid on what they can offer because guess what? They have processes already in place that they've worked out with their board of directors and their investment group and all the people that are involved, where they have a system that they can't deviate from. And traditional banks are going to limit you to borrowing a certain small percentage of your adjusted gross income. And here you can just borrow as much as you want, up to $500,000, regardless of your income. You could have zero income and still borrow the max amount if you have somebody in a high place that you know. And if you hit hard times, you have somebody that you know you can hit up on the phone and say, hey, I can't pay this back right now. I need an extension, or I need you to forgive this for me. And you might have some luck with that. Also, there's no credit check. So even if you have poor credit, if your credit score is in the dirt, if it's a 350 credit score, you can still negotiate payment terms with a person that you already know that has the money that can fund you. There's no credit check, so it's not going to impact you. It's not going to be a hard credit pull and damage your personal score. It's not going to go against your business score. It has nothing to do with that. Traditional lenders are going to require you to get a 680 FICO score to get business credit cards. And if you want something like an SBA loan, you're going to have an even higher FICO score in the 700 somewhere. So with this, there's no minimum FICO score requirement. And there's also no credit reporting. So in the event that there is a default, or if there's a late payment that occurs, you won't see any sort of negative impact on your credit score due to late payment or non-payment when you're using this type of loan process. And it's just an agreement between two people that know each other, that have a relationship. And this is something that you have to negotiate and work out together. And you have the real potential of lowering your interest rate. So traditional loans are going to go probably from 7 to 8%. With certain types of loans, they can go all the way up to 30%. There's really no limit. With this, you can go all the way down to 0%. And you can even have it in the single digits. It's really up to you and who you're borrowing from or who you're lending to. And don't get me started on business credit cards, because they're going to be upwards of 20% on average. So it's going to be a much better deal if you can work with somebody that you know, and they're going to give you a favorable interest rate. And when you're working with somebody that you already know, you already have a relationship with them. So you're already going to have trust and understanding with them. They're already going to know your track record. They're going to know your personal history. They're going to have a deep understanding of your business and what's possible through all the conversations that you've had. You have a real relationship, not just a business relationship. If you work with traditional lenders, they're just going to use the numbers and statistics to judge your credit worthiness, which is going to cause a hit to your credit score. And they're just going to judge you by the numbers. They're not going to look at you as a person. They're just going to look at you as a number. You're also going to have direct communication with the person that you're borrowing from or lending to. In the unfortunate event, if there's a misunderstanding or some sort of dispute, you're going to be able to pick up the phone, call them, text them, email them, and they're going to be able to get right back to you directly. When you're working with a big lender, you're working with thousands of people and you're working with different teams. They don't know you. They don't really care about how well you're doing and if the business is going to take off or not. And there's going to be a lot of middlemen, a lot of management in between you and your situation and what they can do for you. Next, there's no collateral required, and you don't have to put up a truck if you have a trucking business. You don't have to put up any sort of land or your office space for collateral. Typically with like equipment financing, and especially for SBA loans, you have to have some sort of collateral and years in business to put up so that you can actually get approved for the loan. Here, it's completely up to who you're working with. So they don't have to require you to put those things up and potentially lose them if you default. And there's no hidden fees. Everything is up front. You and the lender work together to create this contract, to create this loan process. So you know exactly the fees are labeled up front. With a traditional lender, they're going to have processing fees, origination fees, late fees, things that are going to come up later on down the line when something happens. And it's just going to trigger like a cascade of fees that you didn't even know about if you didn't read the huge fee schedule that's located in the fine print under all those pages of documents. And here, there's no lengthy application process. You know, with traditional loans, it might take you 30 minutes to complete the application. Then there's going to be a pending period. And then it might take them, you know, with a fintech, it's going to take maybe hours, or it's going to take a few days with a direct lender. And if you're working with a big bank like Bank of America, forget about it. It might take weeks to months. They might even completely push you to the side on the back burner, and you'll have to contact them again to continue the process of approving you for the loan. Here, you can set up the loan, as you can see, just in minutes. And then as soon as they see the loan in their email box, or they get a notification if they already have the app, they're going to be able to approve that loan and confirm it for themselves immediately. So if you're interested in using Pigeon, definitely click the link below to start getting funded by people that you know and trust. And let's take a second to think about how many success stories there are out there of these huge businesses, these huge monolithic, world-defining businesses that have started through friends and family. A lot of these startup businesses are getting their startup funding, their seed funding from friends and family. In fact, 22% of founders receive their first funding rounds from friends and family. Just think about it. Amazon, we all use Amazon. That was founded by Jeff Bezos. He got $100,000 from his parents to start that business. Let's think about Chipotle. I mean, you probably ordered Chipotle within the last couple of months, right? The founder of Chipotle, Steve Ellis, opened his first restaurant outside of Denver, Colorado with an $85,000 loan from his dad. I mean, we all know Elon Musk. He's been in the news daily for the last few years, founder of SpaceX and Tesla. He got his initial loan for his first company, Zip2, of $28,000 from his father. And guess what? All of these loans could have been made much easier by using a service like Pigeon to write up the contract. Who knows? The founders of these billion-dollar companies like Tesla could have received even more funding from other people they knew if the loans were perceived as being more legit. But I would definitely entertain all forms of business funding though. You never know when you could use extra working capital to run payroll, buy out an early partner for the business, or purchase a new location for your business. So check out this interview I did with the VP of Business Development at Rock Financial. They have all sorts of funding products for your business, and they have business lines of credit that go from $10,000 all the way up to $5 million. Thank you for watching.